Hey, I done made it, baby. I done made it, baby. And they still want me to come out of retirement and whoop on some people. Hey.
Cause they just hold me to a higher standard than these other guys. You know, people know that my skills and my abilities, on a whole nother level. And these guys don't do what I do, but you got some little haters or people that want to critique this or say that.
Crawford is an awfully good fighter, and it would take a real wizard to beat him. Crawford has something that no other fighter around has.
I think it's going to be different when he goes up against a Fundora or a Virgil, because if one of those guys get him hurt like Xander did, I don't think it's going to be the same outcome. That I can say is I'm 10 steps ahead of him. Like I'm 10 steps ahead of him in smarts. And I think, that's where he'll get in trouble with, coming straight forward, trying to box me or trying to, think shot for shot. I just compare myself, with a lot of great fighters, and I can see the holes in his game, and I can see the openings.
Terence Crawford is officially living a real-life boxing movie, and right now he is laughing all the way to the bank. While the entire combat sports world is practically begging him to put on the gloves for one final legacy-defining mega fight, Bud Crawford is thousands of miles away, completely unbothered. He recently took to the streets of Tokyo, Japan, posting a casual morning walk video that sent shockwaves through the boxing community. Walking under the morning sun, Crawford smiled at the camera and said he woke up feeling grateful, thankful, and blessed. Then, with a grin that clearly frustrated his critics, he added that he is living the dream, yet people are still desperate for him to come out of retirement just to beat up on somebody.
Y'all, man, I woke up this morning feeling grateful, feeling thankful, feeling blessed. Man, I'm living a dream, baby. Living a dream. What more can I ask for? Hey, I done made it, baby. I done made it, baby. And they still want me to come out of retirement and whoop on some people. Hey, what more can I ask for, man? I'm blessed. Life is beautiful right now, and I'm enjoying every bit.
This video was not just a casual update for his fans. It was a calculated and pointed response to the chaos that had just unfolded back home at the Barclays Center. Jaron Boots Ennis had just secured a massive unified 154-pound championship victory, knocking Xander Zaz down 3 separate times on the way to a dominant 7th-round stoppage.
You feel like as good as you did and on the stage you were on, it's just another day.
Yeah, I watched it. It was okay. It was a good, okay performance. I'm way better than that, but it's just a regular day for me though. Every time I go to these so-called big fights, and it just feel like another day, another dollar for me.
What is that? What is that mentality? We understand what you're saying, but to the viewers out there that may not understand that, what is that mentality?
Our mentality, I don't know. I don't know. It's I can't even explain it myself. It's just weird. I got like a weird, like, everything I do is like weird. Like when I fight night, I don't be having no feeling. It just be like, it's so weird. Like people be coming in the back room, like they be like, it's like a vibe when I'm in our back room, because we be chilling, we listen to music, we be talking. Some people be quiet in the back room, don't be saying nothing. I'm back there chilling, talking, having fun, just enjoying myself, because I'm about to go handle business, and I'm just, right. I don't know, my whole like thing just different though. Like it's weird. I got weird like a little whole thing.
Yeah, some fighters get tight, man. That week of the fight, then that night of the fight, they get tight.
Yeah, I fight week, I was chilling, I was enjoying myself all fight week, That's because I already be knowing what would be going to happen, because I know what I'm capable of, I know what my skills and my ability.
On paper, it looked like a masterclass that should have cemented Boots as the new face of the division. But instead of receiving universal praise, the performance opened up a massive debate, and Crawford was the very first person to jump on the openings he spotted.
I felt like Xander fought the wrong fight, but a lot of people knew Xander was green and he was taking a fight too soon. But at the same time, you can't exchange with somebody that's faster than you and more athletic with you, athletic than you. So I thought that was the wrong game plan in his own right. You know, Boots is more faster, sharper, especially in the exchanges. And I think that's what led Xander to get hurt the times that he did get hurt, because he got caught with a shot that he didn't see. You know, that's where experience come into play.
Yeah.
You know, knowing when to exchange, when not to exchange. You know, when to move, when to hold. Like if you watched when he got real hurt, real bad, he didn't know when to hold. You know, and we all yelling like, grab him. You know, he's right there to be grabbed.
Yeah.
And, you know, the Puerto Rican heart in him led him not to grab and take more punishment than needed. You know, so it was a great fight. You know, Boots showed heart. He showed grit. Xander showed tremendous heart. But I just think, you know, going forward, you know, both of them gonna have to.
Almost immediately after the fight, Crawford joined the Porterway podcast with Sean Porter and completely downplayed the victory, calling the performance overhyped. Crawford pointed out that while Boots has undeniable speed and power, his ring intelligence is seriously lacking. Bud stated bluntly that he is at least 10 steps ahead of the young champion when it comes to thinking inside the ring. He warned that while Xander Zaz did not have the elite speed needed to take full advantage of the massive defensive holes Boots was leaving wide open, stepping in with a genuine finisher would lead to a very different and very bad night for Ennis.
No one picked Xander to win.
No.
You know, and I love Xander, and he's a great kid, you know, but no one, like, I think we overhyping this victory, you know, in a sense where nobody picked Xander to win. Everybody was kind of like, okay, he's in over his head, and it's a matter of time before Boots catch him and end the fight. But what round will it be?
Right.
Now, I think it's going to be different when he goes up against a Fundora or a Virgil, because if one of those guys get him hurt, like Xander did, I don't think it's going to be the same outcome.
If you want to be the Terence Crawford, Floyd Mayweather level of boxing, I need Josh Kelly, I need Fundora, I need Ortiz. We need names, Boots. None of that tune-up shit. None of that. If you want to be one of the best, you got to go out there and get it and be the best. Get back in the ring by 2027. Come on. If you really want to be one of them boys, I see he loves to talk. I see that, but you got to just show us in the ring. The resumes. That was the beginning of the resume.
Crawford specifically pointed out that if a powerhouse like Sebastian Fundora or Virgil Ortiz Jr. landed the same clean shots, that Zaz connected with the fight would end in a completely different way.
Yeah. Can I get one in the Terence?
Yeah, of course.
Precious time we got with Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
Terence, man, you got nothing to prove. Okay, definitely not coming at it from that angle. You retired already as one of the best fighters of all time, no doubt about it. But I know you also are the ultimate competitor. Did anything about last night get your competitive juices going? Was your tweet, it definitely seemed to be in reference to the fight because it was tweeted right after the fight. And also, what level of threat is Jaron Boots Ennis to Terence Crawford? Because in some ways, he's like a young version of you. He's ambidextrous, he has speed, he has power. And even though he's very skilled, he comes to hurt the other guy and at some point knock him out, not just outbox him. So did anything from last night get your competitive juices going? Was that tweet in reference to him? And what kind of threat is Jaron Boots Ennis to the great Terence Crawford?
Listen. like I said, man, of course, everybody knows the competitive nature in myself, but I don't worry about coming back to prove anything, because me coming back and proving something to people that it doesn't matter, what never matters. You know, for that being, they would say, oh, well, he only fought Xander, or they'll come up with some type of excuse, you know, but to credit Boots, like, he's a tremendous talent and he's no walk in the park for no one, you know, so he's a threat to anyone that he stepped foot in the ring with, you know. But he got tremendous speed. He got great power, defense, reflexes, all that, you know. But the only thing that I can say is I'm 10 steps ahead of him. Like, I'm 10 steps ahead of him in smarts. And I think, you know, that's where he'd get in trouble with, you know, coming straight forward, trying to box me or trying to, think shot for shot. I just, compare myself, with a lot of great fighters, and I can see the holes in his game, and I can see the openings and the opportunities that I'll have because A, I feel like I punch harder than Xander. B, I'm way sharper than Xander. C, I'm way faster than Xander. So the shots that Xander was hitting him with and the shots that Xander couldn't capitalize because his speed wasn't there, I will be able to capitalize. And when I capitalize, everybody know I'm probably one of the best counterpunchers, there ever was.
It did not stop there. Boxing analysts and legendary trainers quickly began taking sides and breaking down every single exchange. Hall of Fame trainer Robert Garcia and former champion Tim Bradley both raised serious concerns about the defensive problems Boots showed throughout the fight. They noted that getting visibly caught and shaken up in the third round by a younger contender suggests Ennis may not be as untouchable as his promotional team has been claiming.
So we got some of the best exchanges of the year, great exchanges. I give Xander credit, and I think the round he had in round 3, in a way, it was good for Boots, because if he had gotten him out of there in 1 or 2 rounds, then it's like, oh, this kid didn't bring anything to the table. But by giving him some resistance, it showed he did beat a quality young champion. And it also made him look just vulnerable enough that Virgil and Fundora, other guys will say, oh, if I could do the same thing and have even more success. So I think he showed enough vulnerability to where it was exciting. It'll entice other fighters to take their chances with him. And it also showed that he was in there with a quality, to Terence's point, inexperienced kid. But I also wonder, from him landing the jab in the first 10 seconds repeatedly, if he took Xander's idea and game plan of trying to outbox him away from him, because he made that kid fight for his life. Like, he turned it into sink or swim from the jump. And definitely Xander, with some more experience, could have done some things to fight it smarter. But I got to give credit to Boots at the same time. He forced it to be that kind of fight as well.
Bud, who seems to be retired, sure has Boots on his mind, right?
Yeah. Well, because Boots has been talking. That's why.
I mean, look.
Not much. He's not talking much.
Here's the thing. If Bud is 90% of who he has been, Boots got no wins against Bud. He ain't gonna be. But Bud would beat him up and knock him out.
He's fresh.
But now Bud's been off for a year. If Bud is off for 1.5 years, 2 years, and he's pushing 40, and the thing about Boots is he's a young man with young man reflexes, a sizzling offense. All of a sudden, your body's not responding the way it used to a guy like that. It becomes an
On the other side, a passionate part of the boxing media accused Crawford of using his retirement story as a convenient excuse. They argue that Bud is simply trying to avoid a high-risk and low-reward young lion who has the youth and athleticism to truly test him. That is exactly where legendary top-ranked promoter Bob Arum stepped in with his own unfiltered take on the situation. Arum, who has spent decades watching the greatest operators in boxing history, did not hold back when asked how a hypothetical clash between Crawford and Boots Ennis would actually play out. Arum gave Ennis full credit for his explosive talent, but made it very clear that Crawford operates on a completely different level. Arum stated bluntly that it would take a real wizard to beat Terence Crawford.
We would have preferred Xander not to take that fight because he was young and wasn't really ready. But he insisted that he wanted that fight. And it may not turn out so bad. Because as you said, people remember that round where he had Boots in a lot of trouble, the third round.
Yeah. I know that Jaron is an exceptional talent. He won that day, and they've kind of linked him being like the guy to be able to beat Bud if he came out of retirement. Is that something feasible to even say, or is it
what?
When people compare Jaron versus Terence, like if Terence came out of retirement, is that a step too high for like Jaron Ennis?
I don't know, Crawford is an awfully good fighter. And, it would take a real wizard to beat him. Crawford has something that no other fighter around has, and people haven't commented on it, and that is he fights equally well as a southpaw.
Veteran promoter explained that Bud's ability to read opponents, switch stances without any difficulty, and surgically expose a fighter's technical weaknesses makes him a nightmare matchup for anyone who relies purely on raw athletic ability. In Aram's view, the defensive holes Boots showed against Zaz would be an immediate and serious problem against a precise and clinical finisher like Crawford. That is all for today. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And do not forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned and we will catch you in the next one.